Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. It's Fallout Friday. So I've got a couple of cool little things to show you today. So make sure you remember to hit those buttons and let's get stuck in. So, as I said, this was going to be the last video for the year, I think. I'm going to take a little bit of time off over the Christmas break we've got coming up. And I'd like to say thank you very much to everybody who's subscribed and everybody who's been watching my videos over the last few months. It's been absolutely fantastic, beyond my wildest expectations and hopes. And it's very, very much appreciated, so thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And let's make 2017 even better than 2016's been. Skipping over the unpleasant bits anyway. So, what am I doing? We're carrying on from last week, where I did the rebuild on the Spectacle Island house. I've decorated over there, and I've built a little method to explain the fast travel out to an island. Sort of, anyway. So, I'm building here a little pier. We're actually over at the castle, as you may have noticed. And if you look here, these textures line up quite nicely from the wood tab in the Unlock Settlement Objects mod. So yeah, little pier. My theory was that if they're going to travel out to Spectacle Island, they're going to need a way to get across that doesn't involve swimming through an irradiated ocean every time they want to get there. So I figure there's somebody like Tinker Tom and there's people like Sturgis as well around in the wasteland, so it's possible that they'd find a boat in a condition that could be repaired. And that would be this one. So I've built a full sort of sister to this pier over on Spectacle Island. I wanted to show you how I did it, so I built this one on camera over at the castle. So we'll figure they travel out to the castle and then pick the boat up and head out from there. So you've got two identical boats, one here and one on the other side, so wherever you are, I figure it's the same boat, you can just see it there because you've travelled there. That's my explanation anyway, and I'm sticking to it. So, most of the stuff here comes from the Unlock Settlement Objects mod, which is absolutely awesome, as always, and ridiculously huge. But there's some really cool stuff that we can do with it. So, these mooring anchors are a little oversized for what they're being used for, but it gives us something to tie our supposed fishing boat up to. And I'll just get them nice and straight. And I really like the look of this. It's a bit cleaner than most things I would go for, and that's kind of true of this whole Spectacle Island thing anyway. At least as far as the General's house and these piers are concerned. But I really like the look of them. I wasn't sure at all how I was going to make this work. My original plan was to use the existing boathouse on Spectacle Island. But it just looked rubbish and the boat doesn't fit anyway, so I needed to come up with an alternative, and this just came out looking really cool. Well, I think so anyway. So we're just sticking the stairs on now. It's a technique I've used any number of times. Particularly if you've watched my prison build, you'll see it there quite a lot. It's just a case of attaching them on the top and then just carefully using select all on the pillar to position each lower tier in underneath. It is in this case. Sometimes it works better from bottom upwards, but this is generally the easiest way. It's not perfectly neat and tidy, but it doesn't really need to be, especially if it's half of it's hidden by the grass anyway. So we'll just shift this into position, and I think with the exception of a couple of lampposts and these steps, everything actually has come out of the modded Unlock Settlement Objects stuff. We've got absolutely loads of awesome stuff in there, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with these stone textures. Didn't feel they really fit anywhere, but in this case, I think we've got an exception. So, dead simple, we'll just snap them in, line them all up, and we'll just put a little board on the side to patch up the end, because otherwise they do look a bit too much like they're floating. So dead simple, even though it goes yellow and therefore can't be stored or moved once you've placed it, theoretically, you can use select all to move them, so it's actually reasonably simple to get around that. And it still allows you to sink it in like that as well. So I absolutely love these oil lampposts, I think they look really good. I also don't have to faff around with electricity either. It's always a bonus. I really love how detailed the textures are on this stone as well. And the fact it matches up if you get the lines right as well. Looks really cool. So a little bit too clean for the wasteland, but I can live with it. Now, unfortunately, courtesy of these mooring anchors, I can't really put the lampposts down the side, but I wanted something that would at least show where the edge of the pier was, so that they didn't bash into it in the night if they're trying to manoeuvre in after dark. So I thought little oil lanterns on the top should do the job. Assuming there's likely to be somebody around on each side, because I'm also going to move my companions over to Spectacle Island as well. So there'll be somebody about to keep them lit. And very conveniently, right in the middle on the top of those things, is a handy little circle, which just shows you where the centre of the unit is, the mooring anchor itself. So you can just position the lantern quite nicely on the top there. I've no idea if I'm ever going to use those rope dividers for anything again. I can't really see myself doing it much, but they do kind of complete the look a little bit. As those concrete, I think, stone blocks there. And I do like the that I've got to use the crane there as well. So, all in all, nice tidy little build, dead simple, but looks really cool. So, over on Spectacle Island now. This is the original pier that I built, that I've just duplicated for you. And again, we're on the downside of a hill here, so the steps are kind of going the other direction. But it's a little different because we're not in the military kind of setting here, it's more of a residential thing. So we've got stuff being stored rather than more mechanical stuff. So I did want to do something with this. A little boathouse area where your normal fast travel arrival point is, but other than a little patio here, I'm really struggling for ideas. So I will hopefully come back to this with something better in future. I've just tidied it up a little bit at this stage. So, moving on to the main house, and ODDecorator has been an absolute boon here, and I'm really happy with that. Coupled with unlock settlement objects, even, creates a really nice finished look for the house. Again, we're getting the same theme again. It's a touch too clean, apart from that corner, but I really like how it looks. So I've moved all my magazines over from Sanctuary, and I put them in that corner because I haven't really got anywhere else to put them. The cooking stove there is just the crafting station, which I then pillar glitched in so that it was just floating in the air, and then rug glitched the whole counter straight in underneath it, which just allowed me to get it all lined up and looking right, which I was really pleased with. So I was trying to do the same thing the other way around in Sanctuary, and the thing you couldn't take the rug out, or you just had to leave it sticking out, and it looked awful. But that I'm really pleased with. So we've got our Armory here, because the General needs a few weapons and ammo around anyway. Because his house is not completely inconspicuous, and he's likely to make a few enemies. So you'd want to be able to defend yourself if you're a little out in the sticks like this. Our crafting space, it's got all of our workbenches in it, and it's also got the workbenches from the Armour and Weapons keywords base mod that is used under Unified Clothing Overhaul, which is another Andrew CX mod that I've been using quite a bit. Well, a fair bit anyway. That's dog meat, by the way. UCO gives various costumes for dog meat. That's a Far Harbour wolf, which I'm sure many of you recognise. Yeah, I like the kind of vicious look for my attack dog there. So everything here is placed with ODDecorator, so it's all static objects. You can't knock it off. It's not going to fall through the shelves. It's not going to disappear. It's absolutely brilliant. It's the only reason I've got the patience to keep doing all this decoration. It gets very frustrating otherwise. Especially as I've moved Piper here in with me. The Christmas tree there. I really like these cannons as well, so far I've got a few of them knocking around. Bobble heads have moved over. We've got a little bathroom. And I've got a few, some toothpaste and stuff on the sink there, some soap. I have forgotten to decorate the bathroom door there. I did want to use that sort of hidden door, plus it's the only thing really big enough to plug the gap. But I've forgotten to put anything on, partly because the books are a nightmare to get on the shelves. They're too tall for most things. That's why I've used these big metal ones here. If you want to see how best to do this. It's still not perfect, but it looks good. Then Stacey Plays Fallout is the person to check out. She's got some fantastic OCD tutorials, which I've linked to before, and I may well do so again, because they're absolutely brilliant, and that's basically how I've done everything in here. So that was our little bedroom I share with Piper, and our little cat. Need to come up with a name for that cat, by the way. Any suggestions? Go for it. Piper's desk on the left, and the general's there. My slightly YouTube joke setup there. Although my setup's slightly more sophisticated than that. Ham radio there, wired to the dish on the roof, so they can communicate with the castle if they need to. Which, let's face it, given how often everywhere gets attacked, they probably do need to. Just love the little details we've put in with OCD as well. It's like the lit cigar in the ashtray there. Just easy as you like, just place straight on there. It's great. So back outside, we're at the little warehouse garage thing that's off to the side. I've just converted it into somewhere to store my main suits of power armour. I'm going to put together a cool T60 suit and put that on the other one, because I really like the look of that armour. I might repaint one of those two once I get the mod that'll allow me to have the Institute paint. And this little corner that I can't clear out with the Scrap That Settlement mod, which is quite frustrating. I've just walled it all off and put my generator in there, which I think I said I was going to do last time, and there you go, I've done it. So we'll take a quick swing around the outside, which is mostly pure vanity because there's epic god rays coming up. There we go, it's shining right through my house. Yeah, I probably would have skipped over that, but that just, yeah, I like that. Plus you can see what it looks like from the outside as well. Eventually, I'm going to use Unlocked Settlement Objects again, and put some more trees and shrubs and greenery around there, and try and make the place look a little bit more homey, I think. Although I'm quite pleased with how it's looking so far. It looks very comfortable, particularly by Wasteland standards. So have a quick night tour. So with all the lights around, it's got quite a nice little atmosphere on this. You can see all manner of weird lights off in the distance. Very nearly stopped recording this and went and investigated. And up the little steps. Didn't really need to put those steps in there, but it just didn't feel complete leaving it as just a grassy slope somehow. Maybe something a bit more permanent. And I forgot to close the door behind me. Let's have a quick look around the inside. It's a bit dingy down here. I think I've forgotten to put a spotlight back in that corner actually. There is our armory. And the workshop. Which again, it's a bit dingy, but I figure they're going to do most of the work in the day anyway. And you can see what you're doing, just about. Yeah, what the hell, it's atmospheric. So, the kitchen. This little landing, I've been scratching my head over what to do with it. And I figure I'm going to move Codsworth down here, because we can't leave him behind. And so I've put a few bits and pieces related to him there, and stuck some power armor in the corner, because why not? Really love the look of this place in the evening as well. Like it's just spotlights spread around the place, and it really lights up nicely. So to block up what is a fairly ugly bit of the wall, I've hung all the flags of the various factions up there, that either have been or will be defeated by the Minutemen, if they ever get round to actually completing it on this save, or any save to be honest. Really should finish this game. Bedroom is a little Spartan, but as I want to figure out what else I can put in there. Yeah, I've no idea why, but yeah, I know exactly why actually. I keep getting distracted by building. But I've never actually got round to completing the game. I know what happens, but I've never actually got round to it. I just get so addicted with building stuff like this. I really like the lighting, well, the way the lighting's turned out in here. There's a bit of the green wood on the walls, which creates a really nice warm feel to the place. So, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you can find me at /DarthXionGames. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful Christmas, and I will speak to you in the new year.